You ready? No. No. 125 and 25, 27 going to be 32 and a half, 35, 37 going to be 142 and a half, 42, 50, and now 5, going to get 45, going to be 35, going to get 45, 7, and 47, 45, going to be 7 here, 45, going to be $7, going to be 45, going to be 7, going to get 7, going to be 7, going to be 7, Gibbon, 145. $135 and 35, 35, 35, 40 and 35, 43. You're going to be 145. You get 45. You get 45. You get 53. You're going to be 150 and 45, 53. You get 50. You get 50 and 55 and 55, 55, 55, 60 and now 5. You get about 70. You get 75 here, 75 here, 75 here, 75 and 75 here, 75 here, 75, 75. Going to be 80 and 75. Going to be 180. 75. Going to be 180. 75. Going to be 80. Bit of 80. 75. Going to be 80 now. 80 yes. 175. 11. 300. I know it. He's a bull. Look at that tail. 125 and 25 and 25, 25. We get 30. We get 5. We get 35. We get 43. 145 and half. 45, 50 and 53. We get 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55. You get 5 here. 55 there. 55 and 55 here. 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55. Now 5 here. We get 55. We get 55. We get 55 here. So 150. Gibbon Bull X. $1.50. 55 and 55 and 55, 55, 55, 60, 2 and a half, 5, 7 and a half, 70, 70, going to be 70, 70, not 70, and 70, 72 and a half, and 72 and a half, 72, 50 here, 72 and a half, 72 and a half here, 5, and 75 here, 75, 75, 75, 75, 75, 75, 75 here, sold 172 and a half, hole 7. I guess I was TikTok famous over the weekend and on one of them sheep I sold. Because I said these, yeah. It's all over the place. I have no idea. 30 cents a pound. 40, going to get 50, 60, 70, and now 80, going to be 80, 75, and 75 here, 75, going to be 80, going to be 85, 85, 85, 85, 85, 85, 85, going to be 85, going to be 85, now 90, and 95, and 95, 95, 95, dollar, and dollar be, going to be $1, going to be $1, going to be $1 pound, going to be $1 there, going to be $1, going to be $1, going to be $1 here, so a little bit 95, Ricardo. Crippled. Yard him out. Start over. Cripples. $1.50. 55, yeah, 55, 55, 7, going to be 2 and a half, 5 times, 7 and 7, 50, now 70, and 73, 72, and 72, 72, now 2, 74, 74, 74, 76 here, 74, 6 here, 74, 6, 8 here, 78, 78, 78, 78, 80, and now 80 there, going to be 80, going to be 1, and now 1 here, going to be 82, 82, 82, 83, 83, 84, there, going to be 84, there, going to be 84, going to be 83, 4, 5, and now 5, 6, 86 out of there, going to be 86, 7, 87, 86, 7 here, going to be 87, going to be 87, going to be 87, going to get 7 here, so 186, hole 7. $1.50. 52 and a half, 5, and 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55 here, 55, 55, 2 and a half, and 5, and 55 here, 55, 55, 55, tire out, 55, 57, 57, about 60, and now 60 there, 62 and a half, 2 and a 5, and 65, and 65, 65, 65, 65, 65, 7 and a half, 7 and a half, 7 and a half, 7 and a half, 70, 170, now 2 and a half, now 72 and a half, now 5, 175, now 750, and 77 and a half, 76, 7, and 77, and 6, 7, and 77, here, going to be 7, going to be 7, going to be 7, going to be 7, Gibbon. 176 bull. $1.50. 55, 55, 55, 57, 57, going to be 2 and a half, high, 7 and a half, 70, 172 and a half, 72 and a half, 75, 75, 75, 75, 77 and a half, 77 and a half, going to be 80, and now 80 there, going to be 80, bit 80 there, going to be 80, bit 80 there, going to be 180, going to be 80, and 77 and a half, and 80 there, going to be 8, 9, now 80, 9, 80, going to be 80, and high, going to be 80, 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 sold, 179, hole 7. Robbed you hunting Easter eggs yesterday? Did you find the golden one? The golden egg? Couldn't either. It's too wet and muddy. $65, 65, 65, 7 and a half, 72 and a half, 75, 77 and a half, 82 and a half, going to be 2 and a half, going to be 85, 87, 87, 85, going to be 85, going to be 85, and 90, and 90, 85, and 91, 91, 91, 91, we get 91, we get 91, 92, and 92, 91, 2, 3, and 93, we get 3, 4, and 94, we get 95, we get 95, we get 95, 96, 195, 96 here, going to be 95, going to be 6, 7, and 97, 97, 97, 97, 97, sold 196, Cavadis, boo. $1.50. 55, 55, 55, 55, 60, 5, and 65, 70, 170, 170, 175 here, 75, 80, going to be 80, 185, 85, 85, and 90, 90, 95, $95, $2, and 95, going to be 2, going to be 2, and 5, going to be 205, going to be 25, going to be 205, going to be 210, 210, 210, and down 10, bit of a 10, going to be 10, going to be 10, bit of a 10, going to be 10, going to be 10, going to be 10, so 205, Caldwell. Give $1, Ricardo. $5. 105 and $105 here, good to be $105 here, good to be 110, good to be 110, good to be 110, good to be 110, good to be 105, good to be 110, good to be 10, good to be 110, good to be 10, 15, 10 and 15, and 15, 15, 15, 15, 15, 15, 15, 15, good to be 110, good to be 115. Sold him 110. Chris 12. $5 and $105 here, good to be 105, 10, good to be 110, and 15, 20 here, good to be 125 here, 25 there, 30, 35 here, 35, 35, 35, 40, 45, and 45, 45, 45, 45, good to be 145, and 45 there, 45, 45, now 50, 150, 150, now 50, and $150, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50 here, whole, 145, 6. Three and open. $50. 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, you get 5 here, 55, 55, 55, 55, $55, and 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 125, 30, and 25, 30, 25, 30, 125, 30, 35, and 35, 40, there, you're going to be 145, 45, 50, and 45, 50, there, you're going to be 45, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, here, S, 145, 4. 125. 27.50 and 27 and a half, 30 and 32 and a half, 35, 35, 37 and 37 and 37 and 37.50 and 30, 7 and going to be 30, 7 and going to be 40, 40, 40, going to be 40, 40 here, going to be 140, 40, 40, 40, 40, 40 here. Chris, 137 and a half. Straight. $125, 25, 27 and a half, 30 and 2 and a half, 35, 35, 35, 35, 35, 35, 35, going to be 35, going to be 35, going to be 35, 37.50 and 37 going to be 140 and 40, 40 and 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, going to be 40, 2 and a half, going to be 40, 2 and a half, going to be 40, 2 and a half here. Chris, 140. Here is a pregnant cow. 4 years and she's 8 months. She'll have your Easter baby. 2,000, 20, 100. 2100 and 21 and 21 and 21 21 21 2100 here and 21 here and 2100 here going to be 2100 here and 21 2 21 2 21 2 2100 and 2100 down 2 and 22 3 and 23 23 24 here 24 5 here 25 25 24 and a half 5 and 25 going to be 50 and 25 going to be 2600 and a half and 27 here and 7 and 7 and 7 going to be 27 going to be 28 and a half here going to be 8 and a half 9 and 9 and a half and 9 and a half going to get 3 and 1 and 3100 and 3100 going to get 31 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 going to get 30 and 100 here. Chris, 3,000. Yes, sir. 140, and 2 and a half, and 42.50, and 42 and a half, 42 and a half, 45, 47, 47, going to be 150, and 2 and a half, 55, and 55, 55, 55, 55, and about 35, 7, and 57, 57, and 7, and 7, and 7, and John Yao, 57 and 9, to 159, and 57, going to be $9, 57, going to be $9, 57, going to be $9, going to be 9, going to be 9, going to be 9, going to be 9, going to be 9 here. S, 157.4. $42 and a half, and $42.50, and $40, 2 and a half, 45, 47, 47, and 50, 52 and a half, going to be 2 and a half, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 53, 55, 53, 57, and 57, going to be 9, going to be 9, 57, going to be 9, 57, going to be $9, going to be 960, 160, 160, and 960 there, going to be 60, Gibbon, 159. 4 years. Checked one way, $1.25. 125, 30, and 35, and 35, and 40, 145, 45, 45, 50, 55, 55, 55, 2 and a half, 55, 55, 55, 55, 7, 57, going to be 60, 60, 160, back to you, 160, and 60, there, you're going to be 62 and a half, 5. Now 5, now 5 here, gray, 162 and a half, 9. $135, and 35, and 35, 35, 35, 35, 35, 40, and 35, 40, 40, 40, 40, 45 here, 45, 50, 55, 55, 55, 55, 2 and a half, 5, and 55, 57, 57, going to be 60, 62 and a half, 2 and a half, bit of a 2 and a half, 2 and a half, bit of a 2 and a half, going to be 2 and a half, 2 and a half here, gray, 169. $125, and 25, and 25, 25, 27, and 27, going to be 32 and a half, 32 and a half, 35, 37, and 37, and 37, and 37, going to be 37.50, Rob, yeah, 37 and a half, and 30, 57, going to be 30, and 7, and 30, and 7, going to be 37, 40, and 40, 40, 40, 40, 40, what about $38, and 37, going to be $8, 37, now, hey, 38, 38, 38, going to be $8 here, Gibbon, 137.50, and now 40 here, going to be 40, let's roll, 142 and a half, and 42.55, and 45, 47, and 50, 50, 50, there, going to be 150, 2 and a half, and 51 3, and 53, 51, 53, 51 3, 53, 5, 55, 57, and 55, going to be 7 here, 5, going to be 7, 55, going to be 57 here, 7 now 9, 159, 57 and 9, and 57 here, going to be 9, 100, going to be 9, going to be 9, going to be 9, going to be 9 here, Booker, 157. 181, 81 here, $81, 81, 81, 81, 81, 81, 2, 83. Yes, sir. This is what you've been using on your heifers? He's still good. He looks good. Guarantee will be between the buyer and the seller, guys. 183, 85, 185, 87, 83, 85, 87, 87, 87, 87, 87, 87, 85, 87, 87, 85, 87, $87, now 9, 189, 189, 8, now 9, 189, 189, right on line, 189, 85, go to be 85, go to be 85, go to be 85, go to be 85, go to 90, and 93, 190, go to 90, 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 go to 90 here, now 90 here, sold, 189, put him on Jones, on bull, put him on Jones, on bull. Good bull. Thank you, Dennis. She's a yearling. She's 8 months bred. Who give 1,000? Who give 11? 1,100, 11, not 12, 12 and 13, and 13, and 13, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13, 12 and 1,300, and 13, 13, 13, 13, 13, 1,300, and 12 and 13, and 12 and 13, Easter baby, 1,300, and 1,300, and 13, 13, 13, 13, 12 and 13, 13, 13, going to be 12 and 13, 13, going to be 100, 12 and 13, going to be 100. Sold, 1,200. Ricardo 2. Yes, absolutely.
Send me that, please.
Yeah. Damn right it did. Yeah.
I told him to shut up and get to selling.
1 by 8. Another Easter baby, guys. 1,500. 15 and a half, 15 and a half, having a half, you're going to be 16, having a 17, having a 18, having a 19, having a 2, 1, and 22, and 22, 22, 22, 3, and 23, 4, and 24 here, 24, 24, 24, 23, 24, going to be 23, going to be 23, now 4 here, Kevin, you're at 24, now 5, and 20, 500, and 24 to 5, now 5 here, 24 to 5, 24 to 5, now 24, 5, 24, 5, Kevin, Peck, 2,400. That wasn't a baby calf, Kevin. It was a heavy bred heifer, just letting you know. He should know. Here's a 7-year-old cow. She's 7 months bred. 130, 135, and 35, and 35, 35, 37, 37, 37, 37, 37, 37, 50, and 30, 57, going to be 30, 57, going to be 37, 40, and 40, 40, then 2 and a half, going to be 2 and a half, 42, 55, and 45, now 50, $1.50 there, 5, and 55, 55, 55, 55, 55 here, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, now 5, 55, 55, now 55, 55 here, sold her, 150. Ronnie Mosley. Anything more than 2 is a litter, right? I mean, we used to have triplets and all the time, so it's a litter. 125, 25, 27, going to be 32 and a half, 35, 35, 37, 37, 37, 37, 40, 40, 40, 10, 2 and a half, going to be 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 5, and 45, 47, 50, and 52 and a half, 52 and a half, 5, and 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55 here, 55 there, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, sold, 52 and a half, Booker. $1. 105, 105, and 105 here. Go to 105, going to be 5 and 10, going to be 110 and 15, and 20, 120, 125, 25 and 30, going to get 30, going to be 35, going to get 35, 35, and 35 here, 35, 35, 35, going to get 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 35, bid 5 here, going to be 35 here, S, 131. $25, 25, 27, 50, and 27, going to be 32 and a half, 35, 37, 37, 37, 35, 37, going to be 37, going to be 40, and 40, 40, 40, going to be 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 40, and 42 and a half, going to be 2 and a half, 42, 50, and 40, going to be 2 and a half, going to be 40, going to be 2 and a half here, Lewis, 140. 10. How do I remember his name? He's just good that way. She's got a little bump on my side underneath her jaw. 9-year-old, 6 months bred, 120. 125, 25, and 25, 25, 20, 27, 50, and 27, going to be 32 and a half, 32 and a half, 5, and 35 and 7, 37, 40, 40, 40, 40, 40, 2 and a half, and 5, and 45, 45, 45, 45, and 45, 45, 47, 47, 50, and 52 and a half, 2 and a 5, and 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 57, 57, 57, 62 and a half, 62 and a half, 5, and 7 and a half, 67, 70, and 170, 70, 170, 70, 170, and 70, 70, going to be 70, 70, going to be 70, Chris, 167 and a half on 16. 9 years and 5 months, 135, 135, 40, 42 and a half, 5, 7 and a half, 47, 50, and 50, 150, and 50, 50, 50, 52 and a half, going to be 2 and a half, 52 and 5, and 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55 here, 55, 55, 57, 57, 57, 57, 50, and 57 and a half, 57 and a half here, half and a half, 57 and a half here, so 155, Lewis, 12. Is that right? Yep. Lewis, 12. $120, 2 and a half, and 20, going to get 2 and a half, going to be 20, and 2 and a half, going to be 20, half, going to be 2 and a half, going to get 2 and a half, 5, and 25, 27 and a half, 30, 32 and a half, 32 and a half, 35, 37 and a half, 37 and a half, going to be 40, and 40, 40, 40, 40, and 40 down 2 and a half, and 45 here, 45, 45, you get 45 here, 45, 45 and a half, 5 here, 45, and 45, 5, going to get 5, 47 and a half, 47 and a half, 50, and half, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 52 and a half, 52 and a half, 5, and 55, and 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 57 and a half, 57 and a half, 57 about 60, and now 60 there, 160, 160, Chris, 157 and a half. Nothing.
John Harrison all here. Thank you.
$2. 25, and 25, going to get 5 and 5 here, 5, going to get 5 and 10, going to be 10 and 15, going to be 10 and 15, 20, 225 here, going to be 225, and 225 and 5 here, now 30, and 230, 35 here, going to be 35, going to get 35, going to get 35, going to get 35, now 235, and 35, 35, 40, and 240, 40, 40, you get 40, 245, 245, 245, going to get 5 and 5, and 245, going to get 5 here, 245, going to get 5, 245, going to get 5 here, shoulder, 240, showtime.
Something worse happened this day ago.
Oh, I heard. 45, and 45, 47 and a half, and 47 and a half, 47 and a half, 50, 52 and a half, 2 and a half, 55, 55, 57 and a half, 57 and a half, going to be 60, 60, 60, going to be 60, 62 and a half, 2 and a half, 62 and a half, 5, now 5, 65, 3, 5, 63, 5, 7, 67, 69, 169, and now 7, going to be $9, going to be 7, going to be $9 gray, 167, 9. 35, yeah, 35, 35, 35, 35, 30, 37, about 35, 37, about 37, about 37, about 37, about going to be 37, 50, and 30, 57, going to be 30, 57, 40, and 42 and a half, 2 and a half, going to be 2 and a half, going to be 2 and a half, 2 and a half, going to be 40, and 2 and a half here, Booker, 140. $10 years and 5 months. 35, and 35, 35, 37, 37, 40, and 40, 40, 40, GK 40, 149, 42 and a half, 2 and a half, whatever, 41, 41, 41, 41, here going to be 141, 3, and 41, 3, and 41, 3, 5, and 45, going to be 7, 47, 9, 9, 51, 51, 51, 51, and 49, 51, 2, and 51, 2, 3, 53, 52, 3, 52, 3, 52, 3, Chris, 152 on number 10, on 10. 4-year-old guys, 120. 125. In 25 here. Now 25. In 25. Now 25. 25. 30. 30. 35. 35. 40. 40. 45 here. 45. Jiggy 5. 45. Jiggy 5. 45. And 45. 45. 45. 45. Now 50. 150. Now 5. And 55. 60. In 60 here. 5. Going to be 60 there. Going to be 5. Going to get 60 here. 5. Going to be 60. Lewis. 155. 10. Just a 3-year-old here, guys. 135. 135. Yeah, 35. 37 40. 40 that 2.5. 45. 45. 47. 47. 50. 50. 50. 50. 2.5. 2.5. 5. And 55. 57. 57. Going to be 62 and a half. Going to be 2.5. 5. Now 7.5. And 67 and a half. 67. 50. And 67 and a half here. Half here. Going to be half here. Gray. 165. 9. $72 and a half, and 70, 72 and a half, 72 and a half, 75, 75, 75, 75, 75, 75, 73, 73, 75 here, 75, 7, and 77, 9, 79, now 79, now 77, and 8, 9, and down high, group 9, now 80 there, group 9 here, group 85, group 81, 85 1 here, group 81, 81, 81, 81, 81, 81, now 1, you give $81 1 here, group 81, 81, 81, 81, sold, 180, hole 7. $75 and 75 here, 77 and a half, and 77 and a half, 77 and 77 and a half, 77 and a half, go to 80, 81, 81, 82, 81, you give 81, 81, 81, 82, 83, 82, 83, hey, 4, 84 there, go to 84, 4 there, go to 83, 4 there, go to 83, and 4 there, go to 83, 4, 83, 84 there, go to 83, and 4 there, go to 83, give over here, sold 183, hole 7. $1. $5 and $100 here. Good to be $100 here. Good to be 105. Good to 5. Good to 5. Good to 5. Good to 5. Good to 5 here. 105 and 10. Good to be 110 and 15 and 20 and 20 by 23. 150 23. Good to be 20 by 23. Good to be 120. Good to be 20. 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 Now 5. 125. 125. 30. Now 30. Now 5. 35. 40. 140 and 45. 145. Good to get 45. Good to get 45. Good to get 45. Good to get 45 here. Lewis. 140. X. 65 and 65 and 55 and 55 57 57 going to be 60 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 1 1 2 going to be 2 3 and 2 3 and 4 and 65 and 5 and down 6 and 66 and 7 here going to be 7 here $8 and now hey sir going to be 67 hey there going to be 7 hey there going to be 7 going to be $8 now 7 here going to be 8 here so 167 hole 7. $85 here, good to be 85 there, good to be 85, 85, 85, 85, 87 man, good to be 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 87, 50, and 90 here, and 90 there, good to be 90, 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 good to be 8, 9, good to be 85, good to be 85, good to be 8, and 9, and 90, and 9, and 90 there, good to be 90, good to be 90, good to be 90, good to be 91, and here 91, 91, 91, 91, good to be 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 90, and 1, 90, and 1 here, so 190, hole 7. 35, and 35, 35, 35, 37, and 37, going to be 40, and 2.5, 45, 47, and 47, and 50, and 50, then 2.5, going to be 2 and 5, and 55, 55, 55, 57, and 57, and 57, and 60, and 60 there, 160 there, 160, now 8, 9, now 9, going to be 9, going to be 9, 8, 9, and now 9, daughter, going to be 9, here, going to be 9, daughter, going to be 9, daughter, everything 9, going to be 9, going to be 9, sold, 158, hole 6. Hey, got some bundles. 42 and a half, 42 and a half, and 40, 2 and a half, 5, and 45, 47, 47, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 52 and a half, going to be 1, and 50, 51, 51, 51, 51, 51, 51, 51, 2, 51, 2, 51, 2, 51, 2, 3, and 53, 4, and 53, 54, 53, 54, 5, now 55, 55, 55, now 6, and 55, 56 out of there, 5, 56, 7, and 57, 7, 7, 7, 7, 57, 56, 7, hand on 7, 7 here, going to be 7, 7 here, going to be 7, gray, 156, do it again on number 10. 35, 35, 37, 35, 37, 37, 40, 40, 40, 2 and a half, going to be 2 and a half, going to be 45, going to be 47, 47, 50, and 52 and a half, going to be 2 and a half, going to be 2 and a half, 5, and 55, 57, 57, 57, 55, 56, and 55, going to be 6 here, 5, 6, 55, 56 out of there, 5, going to be 6, sold 155, Cavaness 3. Thirty-five, 35, 35, 35, 37, 35, 37, 35, 37, 37, 37, 40, 40, 40, 40, 40, 40, 40, 40, could be 40, 40, 40, 40, 40, 2 and a half, and 45, and 45, 47, 47, 47, 47, 47, you're out, 47, 50, and 40, 7, going to be 40, now 7, 47 and a half here, Booker, 145. Can you spell today? Not to see that. How far? Wake house. Okay. 6, 7-year-old cows here. 25, and 25, and 25, 27, 50, and 27, going to be 32 and a half, 35, 35, 37, 37, 40, 40, 40, 40, 40, 40, and 40, 40, 42 and a half, going to be 2 and a half, 40, 55, and 45, 45, 47, 47, 47, 47, 50, and 50, and 50, 50, 52 and a half, going to be 2 and a half, 5, and 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55 here, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 7, 57, 60, and now 60, and 60 there, 60 here, Chris, 157 and a half, 3X. Is that loaded, about 20-footer? 35, 35, 37 and a half, and 37 and 40, 40, 40, 2 and a half, going to be 2 and a half, 45, 47, going to be 50, going to be 50, going to be 50, going to be 50, 50, what about $8? And now 8, and 40, hey, 40, hey, 40, hey, 40, hey, $40, 40, hey, there, going to be 40, hey, going to be 40, hey, and 9, going to be 9, 50, and now 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, down, 40 behind 50, and 40 behind, going to be 50, and now 1, and 51, 51, 51, 2, 51, 2, 51, 2, 51, 2, 51, 2, 1, going to get 2, 1, going to get 2, 1, going to get 2, going to be 2, down 2, so 151, Booker, nothing. Thor, turn your bull out with him, give them another shot. Oh. 25, and 25, and 25, 25, 27, and 25, 27, and 25, 27, and 30, and 30, and 30, 30, going to be 30, and 30, 30, going to be 30, going to get 32 and a half, 5 here, 37, and 37, and 40, and 40, 40, 40, going to get 40, going to get 40, going to get 2 and a half, 45, and 45, 47, and 47, and 47 and a half, and 47, and 47, and 47 and a half, 47, and 47 and a half here, Lewis, 145, 10. $110, and 10, we get 12 of the bag, going to be 110, 12 of the bag, going to be 10, 12 of the bag, going to be 110, 12 of the bag, going to be 110, not 12 of the bag, going to be 110, not 12 of the bag, going to be 10, 12 of the bag, better be 10, 12 of the bag, 15, and 17 and a half, and then 20, 20, 30, going to be 20, that 2 and a half, going to be 20, that 2 and a half, going to be 25, and 25, 30, now 30, now 5. 35, 40, 140, and 35, 40, 40, 40. You're third, Antone, 140, and 35, 40, 40, we get 40, we get 40, we get 40, we get 40, going to be 40, we get 40, going to be 40, we get 40. Chris, 135, 13. Give them another shot too, aren't you, Chris? Daughter, 102 and a half. You two and a half, $1, 2 and a half, we get 2 and a half, going to be 2 and a half, we get 2 and a half, 85 cents a pound, 87 and a half, 87 and a half, 87 and a half, we get 90, and now 92 and a half, and 92 and a half, 5, and 97 and a half, 97 and a half, here, going to be $1, $1, $1 there, going to be $1 pound, going to be $1, going to be $1, going to be $1, going to be $1 there, going to be $1, going to be $1, going to be $1. Sold them, 97 and a half, Chris 13. Good luck to you, sir. Hey, just 97, not 197 and a half. Yep. Express Bulls. Express yourself. $1.50. 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 60, $1.65, and to get a patent 70, 5, 80, 5, 90, 5, 95, 95, 95, not 2, and $2, and now 5 here, 5 and 10, 2, 10, 10, 10, 2, 10, 2, 10, 2, 10, and 15. Won't be no good, guys. They won't be no good. 215, 215, 215. You're out of line. Not 20, 220, 225, 225, 225, 225, 225, 225, 225, 225, and 225 here, 5 here, 5 here, going to be 225, 225, 5. Sold them, 220. Mosley, number, what, 30? 30. Here's the brothers. Express yourself, guys. Won't be no good, guys. That's why they are here. $1.50. $1.55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, and 2 and a half, 52 and a half, 52 and a half, 5, and 55, 55, 55, 55, 55 here, 55, 57, 57, 57, going to be 60. It's 62 and a half. You 2 and a half, 5, and 7 and 7 and 7 and 7 and 7 and 7 and 67, 50, and 67 half, 70, and now 77, 70, 72 and a half, 5, and 75 here, 75, 75, 77 and 77 and 77, 50, and 77 and a half here. Ronnie, you're going to be 77, 50. and 77 and a half here, half here, but about now 80, and now 80 there, 80 but 80 there, 80 but 80 there, 180, and now 80 there, 2.5, 82 and a half here, 82 and a half here, 82 and a half here, 82 and a half, sold 180, Terry 9. Here's a Pribbles. 125, 25, 27 and a half, and 27 about 39, 32 and a half, 35, 35, 35, 37 about 37 about 40, 40, 40, then 2 and a half, bit of 2 and a half, bit of 2 and a half, bit of going to be 42 and a half, 5, 1, 3, and 43, 5, and 43, 45, 43, 45, 43, 5, 7, and 45, going to be 7, high, bit of going to be 40 time, 50, and 50, 50, 50, 45, bit of 50, 45, bit of 50, bit of 50, bit of 50, 45, going to be 5, 45, bit of 50, 45, bit of 50, 45, bit of 50. Chris, 149.10. One 32 and a half, and 32 and a half, going to be 2 and a half, going to be 2 and a half, going to be 5, going to be 7 and a half, 40, 40, 42 and a half, 42 and a half, 41, 41, 41, jiggy 1, 41, 40, 41, 41, another 1 here, 41, 41, 41, 41, going to 41, jiggy 1. Yes. 2, 3. You're still out. Booker, 142. Where are you going, Matthew? Young? Old cows. Well, 6 and 7 year olds are not old. One's got a little bump on her face. She's going to be there. 135. 125, 27 and a half, and 25, 27 and a half, 27 and a half, 27 and a half, going to be 27 and a half, going to be 32 and a half, going to be 2 and a half, going to be 32, 50, and 30, that 2 and a half, going to be 35, and 35, 35, 35, 35, now 35, to get 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 35, 35 here, Chris, 32 and a half, nothing. Eight-year-old Familia. Looky here. 1,500, 15 half, 15 half, 15 and a half, 16, half, 17, half, 18, half, 19, 19 and a half, 2,000, and 2001, and 21, 21, 22, 22, 22, 22, 22, 2,200, and 21 bit 2, and 21 2, 1 bit 2, 1 bit 2, 21, going to be 200, and 21, 200, and 22, 22, 22, 22, 22, 22, 22, 21 bit 2, 21 bit 2, 22. Did you get a 200 out here? 22. 3, 23, Ronnie. 23, 3, going to be 23, 3, 23, 3, 23, 3. Sold out 2,200. What's the name? Rackley. First gifts.
130 to 160.
3-year-olds. 3-year-olds, guys, they got a big old coupon at the side, 2,500. 25.50 and 25.50 and 20 to get half of the van, going to be 20 and a 5 of the van, going to be 25 of the van, 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 going to be 657 and 27 and 27 and 7 and 7 and 7 and 7. Yacht trade 2,700 and 6 and a half 7 and now half 750 and now 8 and a half here, 8 and a half 9 and now 9 bit of a 9 and 29 29 29 99 here 29 yacht trade 29 and a half and 9 and a half and 9 and a half to get 3 and 3 and 1 and 31 32 32 32 31 2 31 2 and 31 and a half and 30 for the high, 30 for the high, 30 for the high, now 30 for the 2, now 2, now 2, now 2, now 2, 3,200, and 30 for the high, going to be 2, bit of 2, 3,200, bit of 200, bit of 200, bit of 200, going to be 31 the high, going to be 200, bit of 2, S, 3150, put them on number 10. Here's a 5-year-old family here. Going to be 2,500, 2,550, and 2,550. You 25 and a half here. And 2,550, and 25 and a half. Going to be 6, 7, and now 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 9. Now 3, 3. Have 1, 31, 31, 31, 31, 2, and 31, 2, 31, 2, 31, 2, 31, 2, 31, 2, 31, 50, and 31 and a half. 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 31, 50, and 31 and a half here. Half and a half here. Going to be 31 and a half here. Bit of a half here. Going to be 31 and a half. Going to be 31. Going to be half. 3150. Sold at 3,100. Mosley. Here's a 5-year-old family. I'm going to weigh this cow, guys. 120. 125, and 125, and 125, and 25, 25, 25, 27, and 27, and 27, and 27, just the cow, 127 and a half, and 27 to 30, 30, then 2 and a half, 35 here, 35, 35, 37 to 37 to 40, and 40, then 2 and a half, 2 and a 5, and 45, 47 to 47 to 47 to 50, $1.50 here, going to be $1.50, 50, 50, 50, 50, $1.50, $1.50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50 here, sold 147 and a half, Lewis on number 9, Lewis 9. Need that calf back, please. And Tone, did you get anything done this weekend in the rain? Oh, yeah. Did you do that this weekend? Hitting that button. Stayed busy all weekend hitting that button. $2. They bringing them, Lid? Mr. Caldwell, did you get a big old rain this weekend? Yeah. 4 inches? Wow. $4 a pound. 410 and 10 and 1020 and 420 30 to get 4 30 to get 4 40 440 50 and 450 60 and 450 60 460 70 to get 470 to get 470 to get 470. You can't give too much. 470 470 470 470 80 90 490 sold 480 Lewis 9. Seven and 8 year old, good little bag. One cow's got a horrible bag. I can't sell that one. She got 2 good quarters. She got the big calf. I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to sell you that 94 goes with that good cow right there. She's got a great bag. 2,500. Sell the little cow and that good little calf. 2,500. 25 and 25 and 25 and 25, 25, 25, 25, 50 and 25 of the van and 25 of the van, 25 of the van, 25 of the van, 25 of the van, going to be 25, 50 and 25 of the van, 25 of the van, 25 of the van, 25, 50 and 25 and a half here, 25, 50 and 25 and a half here. Selling one pair, guys. 2,000, 20, 100 and 21 and 21 and 20 and 21, 21, 21, 21, 2100 here and 21, 21, 21, 2, 21, 2, 21, 2, 21 and a half, 21, 50. Now 2, 2,200 and a half, 22 and a half. 2250 and 20 2 and a half, going to be 2250 and 22 and a half here, have a half here, going to be 20 and 2 and a half, going to be 2250 and 22 and a half here, have a half here, have a half here, and 22 going to be half. Sold them 2200. Rackley 2200. Yeah. Sell the cow, guys. Sell this cow. $1.20. 125, 25, 25, 25, 25, 25, 25, 25, 25, 25, 32 and a half, 32 and a half, 35, 35, 35, you got up here, 35 here, 35, 37 and a half, and 37 and 37, 40, 40, 40, 40, 40, 40, 42 and a half, 42, 50, and 40, 2 and a half, going to be 40, 2 and a half, going to be 40, 2 and a half, going to be 2 and a half, 2 and a half, here, sold 140, Chris 13. $140, Chris 13 on the cow. Say that baby right there. You're going to be 350, 354, and 4 and a half, and 4 and a half, 4 and a half, 5, 55, 55, 55, 55, and you're going to be 6 and a half, and 6 and a half, 7, and 7, and 7, and 7, and 7, and 700, 700, 700, 700, going to be 700, going to be 700 and a half, 7 and a half, 7 and a half, 8, now half. 8 and a half. You got up here. 850. 850, 50 and a half here. You got up here. 850. 850, 50 and a half here. 8 and a half here. 8 and a half here. 850 here. Kevin Peck. 800. You gonna keep him separate from that cow, Kevin, or pin them together? Throw them together. Separate. Separate. Keep them separate. Gotcha. Thank you, Kevin.
Make that one a number 1.
Yeah, put it on Kevin Peck 1 or 0 or something. We'll put his Kevs on 1 today. Three-year-old. 2,500, 25, 2,500 to 5 here, 25, 25, 25, 25, 25, 25, 25, 6, 7, and 6, 7, 7, 7, hey, 2,809, 9, 3, 3, and 9, 1, and 32, 32, 32, 31, 2, 33, and 33, and 33, 33, 33, 33, 33, 4, and 3,400 to 5, and 35, 3,500, 33, 5, 34, 5, and 35, now 5, 34, 35, 3,500, 3,500, 34, now 5, 3,500, 3,500, 3,500, and 30, 500, and 3,500, 3,500, 3,500, 3,500. Sold 3,400. Was you bidding, Thor? I didn't think you was. 3,000. I was wondering what you was doing. 31, 32, 33, 34. Thor, you're out. I was wondering what you was doing bidding on that thing. Thought you was going to buy the cow, sell the calf. 34. Chris, 3,300. 8. Thank you, gentlemen. I'm going to weigh this cow, I believe. Is that okay with you, fellas? 125. 127 about 32 and a half, 35, 35, 37 about 37, 40, 40, 40, 42 and a half, 42 and a half, 5, and 45, 45, 45, 45, 45, 47 about 47 about 47 about 47 about 47 about, going to be 147 and a half, 147 and a half, 147 and a half, Booker, 145. He bid that time for sure. Sell the little calf by the head. Who get 300? 350, and 350, 50, and a hand, 4, and 4 and a half, 4 and a half, 4 and a half, 5, 55, 50, 600, and 6 and a hand, 7 and 7 and 7 and 7 and 7 and a hand, 7 and a hand, 7 of 800, 800 here, 800, 800, 800 here, 800 here, 8 and a half, 850, 850, 50 and a half here, out of here, 850, 850, 50 and a half here, 850, 8 and a half here, going to be half, sold out, 800. Kevin Peck on 1. 5-year-old family. 2,500, 2,500, and 20 to 500 to 5 here, 5 to 25 to 25 to 5, going to be 6 and a half, 7 and a half, 7 and a half, 8 and a half, and 9 and a half, 9 and a half, 9, 3, 31, 31, 32, 32, 3, and 32, 3, and 33, 33, 32, 33, and 33, 3, and 33, 33, 33, 33, 32, 3, 33, 3, 33, 3, 33, 33, 3, sold 3,200, Chris 8.
What'd you get there?
32.
Wow.
125 on the cow, 125, yeah, 25, 27, 27, 27, 30, 32 and a half, 35, 35, 37, 37, 40, 40, 40, 40, and 40, 40, 40, 40, 40, going to be 40, 40, going to be 40, 40, going to be 40, 40, 40, now 40 here, Chris, 137.50, 13.
I think you can get $5 a pound for him. This kind of guy.
13X. $350. 355, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 355, 55, 355, 55, 355, 355, 355, 355 here, PO sell tomorrow. These are some large cows. They've had a good home. 35, 35, 37, 35, 37, 40, and 40, 40, down 2 and a half, 41, 3, 41, 3, 45 here, 45, 47, 49, 59, 47, good to be 9, 47, good to be 9, 47, good to be 9, $1, good to be 50, and now 50, and 49, 50, 50, 50, 45, 50, 45, 50, 45, good to be 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, now sold, 149, Chris 10. $45, and 45, 47, 47, 47, 50, 50, 50, 52 and a half, 55, 55, 55, 75, 57, going to be 60, 62 and a half, 1, now 3, and 5, as you get about 7, 7, 7, 65, 7, as you get about, going to be 7 here, 5, going to be 7 here, 5, going to be 67 here, Booker, 165. $25, 25, and 27 and a half, and 27 and a half here, 27 and a half here, 127 and 32 and a half, now 5, and 35, 37 and 37 and 37 and 37 and 37 and going to be 40, and 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 42, 50, and 40, 2 and a half, going to be 40, 2 and a half, going to be 2 and a half, Chris, 140, 13. $5, and $105 here, good to be 105, 5 outside, now 5 here, good to be 105, 5 and 5 here, good to be 105, and 5 and 10, good to be 110, good to be 110 and 15, good to be 110 and 15, 20, and 21, 21, 21, 15, 20, and 20, 20 here, good to be 100, 20, 20 here, good to be 20, 20 here, good to be 20, 20, Chris, 115 on 13. Four and open, 120. 125, 25, and 25, 25, 25, 25, you get 35, 35, 40, 140, 45, 45, 45, you get 45, 45, 45, now 50, and now 55, 55, 55, 60, 160, and 55, 60, there, 155, 60, here, Chris, 155, 7X. 51, 50, 51, 51, 51, 51, 51, 51, 51, 51, 51, 51, 53, and 53, 4, and 55, and 55, 56, 55, 56, 5, 6, and 55, 56 here, going to be 6, Booker, 155.
Hello. Thank you.
6 by 5. What a cow. 2,000. You got a bag? She ain't got no bag. 125. 125, 30, and 25, 30, and 25, going to be 30, 125, 35, 35, 35, 40, 45, 2 and a half, 45, and 45, 47, 47, 47, 50, and 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 52 and a half, 55, and 55, 57, 57, 57, 60, 162 and a half, 2, 5, and 5, 7 and a half, 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 going to be 67 and a half, sold 165 S7. Young thing, she is 1 plus and open, $2. 2-5 and 2-5, get 5 and 5 here, 5, get 5, get 5, get 5, get 5, 205 and 2 and 5 here, 10, 15, 20, 5, 30, get 5 and 35, 40 and 245, get 45, 245, 245 and 45, 5, get 45, brush out, 245 and now 5, get 5, get 5, get 5, get 5, get 5, 245, get 5, 245, get 5, 245, get 5, and tone 240. $35 and 35, 37 man, 35, 37, 42 and a half, 42 and a half, 45, 47 man, 47 man, 47 man, 45, 47 and a half, 50 and a half, 50, 50 and 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 5 and 55, 57 man, 57 man, 57 man, 55, 57 and a half here, gray, 155, 10. $85 here, going to be 85 and 90, 85, 89, going to be 85, going to be 95, $1, $1, 2 and a half, going to be 2 and a half, 102.50, and 102 and a half, going to be 105, going to be 5, now 7 and a half, now 7 and a half, 750, 7 and a half, now 10, going to be 110, going to be 110, 12 and a half, going to be 10, and 12 and a half, going to be 10, and 12 and a half, going to be 110, now 12 and a half, going to be 110, and 12 and a half here, S, 110, 1. $75, yeah, $75 now, $75, you get $75 here, $75 there, $75, go to be $85, $85 and 90, $95, $1, $5 here, go to be $105, go to be $105, go to be $110, go to be $110, go to be $110, go to be $10, go to be $110, 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 go to be $10, S, $105, 1. $122 and a half, 22 and a half, going to be 20, going to get 2 and a half, going to be 20, going to get 2 and a half, 5, and 25 here, 25, 25, 27, and 27, going to be 30, going to get 32 and a half, 35, 35, 35, 750, and 37 of a 40, and half, 40, 40, 40, going to get 40, going to be 40, going to get 40, going to get 40, going to get 40, going to get 40, 40, 40, 40, going to get 40, 40, 40, going to get 40 here, going to be 40 there, so 37 and a half, S4. She young, little 6-year-old cow out here, 120. 125 and 25 and 25, 25, 25, 25, 25 and 35 and 35, 40, 45, 45, you get 50 and 55 and 55 and 55, 55, 60, 160 here, 5, going to be 160 and 5 and 65 and 70 and now 70 there, now 70, 70 there, going to be 70, 70, 70, 70, Chris, 165, 3X. Off this weekend, the first weekend of May.
Where's it at?
Tyler.
That's where he slipped the cats or something, wasn't it?
No, that's Albany. Cats everywhere. 35 and 35, 35, 35, 37, 37, 37, 37, going to be 37, 50 and 30, 57, going to be 37, 37, 37, calf. That's 135, 3, 135, calf 3. Forgot about sleeping with him calves. We got one laying on my chest. 125 and 25, 7.5 and 30, 32 and a half, 35, 35, 37, going to be 140, 40, 40, jig 40 and 42 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 5 and 45, 45, 47, 47, 50 and 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50 here, Chris, 147 and a half, 13. X. $5 and 105 here. Go to 105, 105 here, 105, 10. Go to be 110, 15, and 20, and 25, 125, 125, 125, 125, 122 and a half, 5, 125, 125, 5. Chris, 122 and a half. $25, 25, 25, 25, 25, 25, 27, 25, 27, 27, 27, going to be 27, going to be 27, now 30, and 30, that 2 and a half, now 30, that 2 and a half, what about 1, 3, and 33, 31, 33, 31, 33, we get 33, we get 33, 33, 33, now 33, we get 31, we get 33, S, 131, 4. Nine-year-old, they're 4 and 5 months bred, 120. 250 and 22 and a half and 20, 22 and a half, 5 and 25, 25, 25, 25, 25, 25, 7, 27, 32 and a half, 32 and a half, 5 and 35, 37, 37, 37, 37, 37 and a half, 40 and 42 and a half, 5 and 45, 47, 50 and 52 and a half, 59, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 5 and 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, Lucia, 55 and 55 and 55, now 55, 55, 55, 55, Jigga 5 here, 55 now, 55 here, Chris, 152 and a half, 13. Chris 1-3. X. 7 and 8 months, 7 and 8 years, and they're 4 months bred. 135 and 35 and 35, 37, 40, 40, 40, that 2 and a half, 45, 45, 45, 45, Jigga 45, 45, 45, 45, 47 and a half, 47, 50, and 47, spin them, Antone, spin them one time, 47 and a half, please, 47, 50, and 7 and a half, 47 and 50, and half, 52 and a half, good to be 2 and a half, 2 and a half, good to be 2 and a half, 51, 8 before, 152 and a half, 55, throw your out. 155, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, sold. 152 and a half, Mosley. You already in here? What's going on?
A little wet.
You're a little wet.
Did you get my text?
Yeah, she's in like one. Crazy.
Is she?
You put her with
Yeah, put her, find something to put her with.
Good luck. 35, yeah, 35, 35, 37, 40, and 40, 40, 41, and 41, 41, 2, 3, 4, 43, 4, 5, 45, and 40, 45, 45, 45, 45, Jigga 5 here, 40, 45, now 45, 5 here, so 144 on Booker. already pissed off. Right? He said she's APO. It's already pissed off.
Yeah, I guarantee it.
110. 110, 10, 12 and a half, 10, 12 and a half, 15, and 17 and a half, 20, 2 and a half, 5, 27, 27, going to be 30, 31, and 32, 32, 32, 33, 33, 33, and 23, and 33, 34, and 34, 35, 35, 600, and 36, 7, 7, 7, 8, 37, and 39, 40, 40, 40, 40, and 39, 40, and 40 here, 40 there, going to be 40, 40, 40, 40, and 40 here, so 139, Chris, 13X. Say it again. 6 years and she's 5 months bred. 6 years and 5 months. 2,000. 20, 100, 21, 21, 21, 21, 21, 21, 21, 21, 21, 21, now 2, and 2,200, 23, and 23, and 23, yeah, Kevin, 23, 4, and 2,400, and 2350, and 23, 23, 2350, 23 and a half here, 23 and a half, and I sold her 2,300, Kevin Peck. Here's a good bull calf. 200, 250, 253. We to get 353 and a half, 3 and a half, 400, 4 and a half, 4 and a half, 4 and a half. We to get 500. We to get 550. We to get 550. We to get 550. We to get 550 and 550 and 550, 50 and a half here. What about a quarter? 5 and a quarter, 5 and a quarter, 5 and a quarter, 525, 5 and a quarter, and 525, 50, 550, 75. 575, you're out, Kevin. 575, we to get 5. 575, 575, 575. We're going to be 600. 6 and a quarter. 625. You're out, Kevin. 625. 625. And 25 and 5 here now. 600 a quarter and I sold a Kev. 600. What's the name? Snyder. $6 a pound. Pretty good. Where are you going, Rob? Bo Kef. Boy, he just need a new home. $100. 150. 150 and a half here. 150, 150, 150 there. 150. 200. 2 and a half. 3. 300. Yeah, Kevin. 350. 350. 400. 400. 4 and a half. 5. 500. 500. Going to be 5. Ricardo, yeah. 500. Going to get 5. 4 and a half. Going to get 5. Dawson, going to get 500. Just money. 500. Going to get 5. 500. Going to get 5. 500. Going to get 5. David, going to get 500. Kevin Peck, 450. Number one. That's right. General, that calf won't die. I like him. Goodbye, Kevin. He may drown one day, but he won't die unless he drowns. Is that it? Short and sweet this week, guys. A lot of rain over the weekend. You guys have a good afternoon. We'll see y'all back here tomorrow. Maybe. We'll see. You have a good day.